Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to kick the program off here today. Normally start out by welcoming you all to the annual regional meeting of INDOT, IMAA, APAI, Ready Mix, and the Concrete Pavement Association. We do this regionally. We started out yesterday down south, and we had a good program. I understand that I went a little over my time, so I'll probably do that again today because it was fun. And then we'll get out of the way and move to some others when I'm done. But before we get into the important part of the aggregates part of the program today, I'd like to just give you a little update on IMAA and what's going on at our association, and just kind of thank you members for being a part of our association. As you guys know, we've been around for a long time, and it's our duty to support the aggregates industry at every level, state, local, federal, and we take that very seriously, and we try to do the best we can with that. This is our rules that we go by. This is what we spend our time on every day, supporting you guys at every level, as I mentioned, through advocacy, through promotion and synergy. Where else can you go and be together with some of your competitors in a very friendly environment and learn from each other than at the association and at our events. We got public outreach that we do, and we have our major Blast Institute that we put on every couple of years, that we are building ambassadors for our industry through the educators. We also provide educational networking opportunities for our members on a regular basis, and then we support the industry through the legislative process. I mentioned yesterday that the session ended. It was a short session this year. There were no specific industry bills that we had to deal with related to aggregates, so we were thrilled about that. Last year there were a couple that we were dealing with, one related to the jurisdiction on blasting, moving it from a state level to a more local level. We couldn't have that, and so we were able to work through the legislative process to get that stopped. And then there was another bill that dealt with the determination of an urban area, which would allow new startup organizations. So legislatively, we were successful this year because there was nothing. You are familiar with our staff. We're small, but we're mighty. You know me, I'm Calvin Lee. I'm the executive director. We also have Katie here today. She's right here at the front table, and most of you know her. If you've ever needed anything from IMAA, you can get it from Katie. We also have Doug Lozier, who runs our Environmental Stewardship Council and our ESC program. He visits each one of your locations every year to determine compliance and to also comply with our guiding principles associated with that program as it relates to reclamation. And then if you call the office, you'll talk to Andrea, and she'll get you what you need. Membership-wise, we're going strong. We still make up about 95% of all aggregate produced in the state of Indiana. You say, why not 100%? We ask ourselves that question also, but we understand that there are some smaller mom and pop type organizations that don't think they find benefit by being a part of the association, but they do benefit by what we do every year to stand in the gap on behalf of the industry. We also have, I should have changed this, 44 producer members. We've had an acquisition that changed that number. So we're going strong in terms of our number of members that we have on the producer side. We also have, look at that number, 120 associate members, which is the largest number of associates we've ever had in IMAA. So, every day we ask ourselves, what are we doing? why are they coming? So whatever it is, we want to kind of bottle it and give them more of that. So pretty proud of our membership and what we all accomplished together. We just installed our 2026 Board of Directors. If you look at the list here, you may recognize some names. Our new board president is Mr. Greg Hebby, Shelby Materials. We just rolled off Paul Overton from Phoenix Global as our immediate past president. And so we're looking forward to working with our new board of directors to direct the items of the association for 2026. We also installed a new treasurer. We had the same treasurer for 16 years, and he's moved on, so Mr. Larry Simons is going to be taking over that role, and we're excited about the opportunity to work with him. How about this? It's always nice to kind of let you know, if you don't already know, the impact that you make in the state of Indiana by providing aggregates. And this screen is really hard to see, so I'm going to attempt to do it without turning around. Aggregates produced in 218 surface mines in Indiana, which 153 of them are IMAA members. We have 6 underground mines in our organization. Indiana is ranked number 10 in the amount of crushed stone sold in Indiana. This information goes back to 2022, which is the most recent data that you can find. Also, the Indiana ranks 16th in the amount of construction sand sold in Indiana. And then we also rank, how about this, number 1 nationally for slag. We actually have 3 members of IMAA who are slag producers. So just some fun facts about the impact that our members make in producing aggregates in the state of Indiana. How many in the room had an opportunity to come to our winter workshops back in February? See a few hands there. Another great event. It is simply the largest, most impactful event that we have all year. We have it down at the JW Marriott, and our members seem to benefit quite well from it. And so we're going to continue doing it at that location. But one of the unique things that we did that's on my right side of the screen, I think it's your left, is we had for our operations seminar, which is the first day of our event. It's an all-day event where we bring our production type people together, plant level folks. In the past we've had, lecture type programs. But this year we had a different program where we set up 12 vendors in their own booths, and we broke the group down to perhaps 6 or 8 people in a group, and they rotated throughout the day to have some hands-on opportunity with 12 of our members in their booth. It was a great success, and our members are asking us to do something similar to this next year. So pretty proud of what we did there and the success we had with it. A little bit about IMAA and INDOT and how we work together on things. We are very focused on road funding and what's going on with that, because it definitely benefits our industries and yours as well. There's some interesting things going on right now, especially with the reduction of tax dollars, that gas tax dollars that usually fund our roads. It is diminishing because of several reasons, including efficiencies and electric vehicles and less dollars at the gas pump. So we're looking at creative ways of financing that, and one of the ways is with tolling. You've heard about that, and there's some things going on that all you have to do is watch the news and you'll learn a lot more about that. We're also proud of the partnership that we have created with INDOT, with our members, and making sure that we're working as partners to accomplish the business of our state. And so we're pretty proud of that. And then what we do at the legislative level. This photo that you see on the screen is an example of the IMAA INDOT partnership, where we come together usually on an annual basis and spend an entire day together, getting to know each other better, learning from each other. Like for example, in this photo, we were at the Heidelberg Quarry on Harding Street. We had an opportunity to visit there. Everyone in this photo has been in a quarry before, but we've never been there together with our INDOT partners and talked about, everything from the beginning to the end of the process, and we learned from each other and also had the opportunity to witness a blast together. It was a blast. All right, okay, good, thank you. We also are working hard at doing a better job of working with our with IMSHA, the Regulatory Agency for Safety in the Mining area. There's been some challenges over the years, but we recently had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Wayne Palmer, who is a Trump-appointed Assistant Secretary of IMSHA in DC, and made him aware of some of the challenges that we're experiencing in Indiana, and he's interested in working with us and partnering with us. Not that we're not partnering with our folks in our state, but sometimes you have to do something a little different if you want different results. So we're pretty happy about this relationship that we're building at that level, and on your behalf, we're hoping that you see some results in the near future as a result. One of the initiatives that we are very, very proud of, it kind of came about as a result of some changes that INDOT is making with the ITM 211 and focusing more on loadout testing. We recognize that material handling is a major part of that. And so there's been some materials out there that are available to our members in terms of video and training materials that is pretty dated. And so we took on a project in the association to develop some training material on behalf of our members. And trust me, you should be taking advantage of this. It is at no cost to our members. Non-members also, asphalt, ready mix, you handle aggregates also. It is available to non-members also at a small cost. But it is a program that we're pretty proud of. It comes with videos, it comes with PowerPoint, and if you've got loader operators that are key to your operations, and they are, they need to be aware of this material and learn from what we have to offer. So we have an example of it right here. Allow me to share it with you.
Eric Woodings with US Aggregates. Let's talk about why material handling is so important.
A lot of effort goes into producing a uniform and consistent grading for the material. People doing the material handling, it's up to them to maintain and confirm that uniform and consistent grading is in place when it leaves the gate. Our customer base, both concrete and hot mix asphalt, their products rely on that uniformity and consistency of the material.
Okay, Eric, so how does material handling impact aggregates?
I talked about our customer base, the hot mix and concrete customers. Up to 95% of the aggregate going into hot mix asphalt and 85% is aggregate in the concrete mixes. They are dependent on that uniformity and consistency. Without proper handling techniques, you can create segregation in the product, you can contaminate the product, or you can degrade the product with improper techniques. The people doing the handling, all the way from the muck pile feeding the plant to loading out the stockpiles, are critical in knowing how to properly handle the material so that we can maintain that consistency through gradation and quality alike.
So let's talk to Andy Gout with Harrison Sand and Gravel. Andy, talk about who are the people most responsible for proper material handling?
I'd like to start by saying that everybody's responsibility is quality control. but there's probably three main players that truly affect a quality product leaving our plant. We're going to start with the quality control department. They're pulling our samples, they're gathering our data, they're seeing our piles when they pull. A lot of visual goes into effect with their job, not just data. You have the plant operator. It's his job to turn out a quality product for every ton that comes across his plant. And he has a lot of control in that. There's many different aspects of what that plant operator can do that's going to greatly affect quality all the way through the plant. But maybe the most important person is the loader operator that's pushing up the piles, that's loading our customer trucks. They're seeing these piles every day, all day, and can easily tell visually if they see something that's incorrect. The loader operator is also controlling the customer trucks and the traffic patterns, and that can really reduce contamination coming across through our piles. He's our last line of defense to catch a problem before it leaves our yard.
So how much training is there for like a loader? Someone who really has to be able to identify, if there's an issue when it comes to any contamination or degradation or segregation. What goes into that?
Having an experienced loader operator is key. He needs to be able to identify, know the products that he's loading, know what a good product looks like, knows what a bad product looks like. Sometimes he can take a bad product and blend it, make a good product. Other times he needs to have the experience to know he needs to discard that product, put it into an alternate pile. So yeah, experience and training is key to a good customer loader operator.
It's one of those things where I can explain it to you, but if I show you, that is the key. And training is all of it. You have to have a little bit of time with someone knowledgeable, understanding, to be able to point out those problem areas or the things that are going to cause you the problem before QC catches you doing it.
So yeah, that is an example of the videos that we have. Again, there's a PowerPoint that goes with each video. It's here for you, so we hope that you will take advantage of what we have to offer. This is just a list of upcoming events that we have that if you're part of a committee or something and you have a schedule, that we hope that you'll engage and be there for the committee meetings. We also have our clay shoot coming up on May 19th, and then there's more after that, so just that. One of the programs that we're proud of that registration is already open is our Excellence in Leadership program. We are developing leaders with the knowledge specific to the aggregates industry. This program is beneficial for field supervisors, lead persons, all the way up to office managers and the likes. Registration is open, and if you'd like to look around your shop and see if there's someone that could benefit by being a part of this program, please get them involved. This will be class number 6. We've graduated 5 groups of students over the years. This is a list of our committees. You can find it on our website. There's descriptions of what they do. If you're not involved in the committee and you want to give back to your industry and be a part of what the association does, here's how you can do that. Stay connected with us, and we appreciate your membership, and we look forward to serving you more in the future. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Matt Beeson from INDOT Materials.
It's pretty close. I'll take it. I'll take Guru. Thanks for the intro there and info, and thanks everyone for coming. So I know a number of you have been here before. If you're new to this, the purpose of, for a lot of you, if you're a CAPP technician, the purpose is to get recertified by attending here and hearing some information about changes to the program, but also for everyone else here with asphalt and concrete. The goal of these meetings is to bring INDOT and industry together, to hear the same information, learn together, network, and so please stick around if you can, for lunch afterwards, after the last presentation. I want to say thank you to the associations, in this case, APAI, helps put this one on in the central part of the state, down south yesterday, IMAA, and tomorrow up north in Argos is the Ready Mix Concrete Association and IACPA. So I just wanted to say thanks for that. I don't have any actual content. I'm going to hand it over to Missy in a second, but in the interest of, we are recording, so for those CAPP technicians that can't be here in person, we do a recording, and Katie comes up with a quiz to, I think, prove that folks have learned something and actually watched the recording. So in the interest of that, I'm gonna throw out a trivia question I just heard yesterday. I thought it was pretty cool. So what current NFL head coach has more career rushing yards than Bo Jackson? There's a current NFL head coach that has more rushing yards than Jim Harbaugh. I thought that was a pretty cool stat. Yeah, so Cody, you get, I don't know, you get an extra cookie at lunch or something if you said it first. So Katie, maybe you could turn that into a trivia question for the quiz. All right, so I'm going to transition over to Melissa Earhart, a geologist. She's going to have a lot of updates on ITM 211 that went into effect this year. And I just want to say thank you. It was a couple of years worth of partnering with IMAA and a small focus group and a larger technical committee to work on, discuss, and vet these improvements that I think are helping to move the ball forward on ensuring we're getting more consistent gradations going out the gate to the ultimate customers. So I just want to say thanks for that, and with that I'm going to hand it over to Missy.
All right. Hi everybody. I'm Melissa Earhart I'm the statewide geologist for Materials and Tests. I think I've been with Materials and Tests for about 4 years and technically 11 years with INDOT. So here we go. Today we are going to be talking about the changes to the CAPP program and a couple other stuff. First round is going to be specification items, INDOT website updates, ITM 211 updates, and audit packet changes. As of right now, we had, for 90403, we decided to remove the 43s. We no longer need those, and so you guys can cheer about that. I've heard they're a really bad product, so. The next one is 904.07. We added a couple sizes. We added a couple sizes, 11, 12, 16s, 23, 24, and we removed the 43s to the dry mass, AKA dry weight for everybody who's done CAPP, into the spec book. So there's a big reference point for you guys. INDOT website updates. We have actually updated quite a bit this past couple weeks. On the website, we now have the audit checklist. So if you guys want to have it, you guys have it now available to you on the website. And at that address right there, the indot.gov/INDOT and that type of stuff, you can actually find it where it's highlighted. It's real easy to find. We have a brand new CAPP tech list. We actually updated it to a actual Excel sheet. That way you can actually look for your name, or you can sit there, if you're a management rep, you can look up your company's name and can pull everybody's name up and that type of stuff. We still have the IA qualified portion to it. However, if you read the notes, it's not quite updated as much as what we like to have it updated, because the information's just not there for me to grab. All right, ITM 211. We've had some big changes this past year, and I'm going to get into it. We had the program management and the loadout. We're going to continue doing the SharePoint. We're doing the 30 most recent points for PWL. That's been a question for it quite a bit. As you can see on the big screen, we do have a lot of changes. I will be going through it. So here we go. All right, so section 2.1, we did reference document availability. Section 2.4, the reference document availability is a lot of times, sometimes the documents are not ready for INDOT to come. We're just saying that it needs to be there because actually HMA and Concrete have that in their specs, and we just never put it in ours. We added reference to ITM 588 for PWL calculations, and that's because we are doing PWL for our loadouts for now on. We added in 3.4, we clarified adherent fines to include clay particles. In 3.13, we defined the qualified product list. We realized we did not actually have a definition for the qualified list, which is also what we know as the D list, the CAPP D list. We added and defined qualified technician. We realized that we needed to define that because we actually separated the two in the past now. We clarified quality assurance and alternative materials. We're actually saying, hey, we do understand that you guys call your material commercial products, and that definition is in there as well. For 7.3, 8.3 and 8.4, we clarified laboratory locations and access. What that means is that you're allowed to have multiple locations in case one of your labs decide to go downhill really fast, or you lost a piece of equipment, lost an oven, or that type of stuff. You can move your samples into a different quarry. Let's see, can I, yep, okay. So up on the screen at the qualified technician, we have highlighted, it is an individual who successfully completed the written and proficiency testing requirements of the Department Independent Insurance, aka IA, and the Qualified Acceptance Personal Program. So that's giving you guys an idea why we say certified versus qualified. Certified, you can sign off documents, right? You can do all that type of stuff, while qualified is telling you guys you can actually run the samples. In sections 10.3.10 and .11, we added diary reporting requirements for production compliance rate and loadout PWL. In section 11.1, we added, I will get to that diary requirement here in a second. We added flakiness testing. Technically, it's always been there. It's just we added a little bit more of a definition and a little bit more of the frequency added into it because we realized we didn't have that there. We revised the loadout frequency. Again, we're going to talk about that for every single product. Not just your 8s and 11s, 12s, or whatever you want to use for a critical sieve. It's not for all products. And I will get to that table as well. We clarified test compliance calculation and added producer responsibilities. I will show you that right there too. And we defined the loadout PWL actions, response requirements, and responsibilities. So here at that 10.310, the current compliance rate has to be recorded in your diary weekly. Same thing with your PWLs. We want you guys to look at your rates weekly to make sure you guys are still good to go. Loadout frequency, we've actually done a lot. It's not a monthly, it is now an actual 1 test per 8,000 tons, 1 test per 2,000 tons. Whatever your frequency you want to use, that's the one you're going to get. And at that point, the max is going to be the 1 to 8,000 tons. Certified piles, if you are shipping certified piles out of certified piles as a commercial product, it is still a certified product and those loaded count. We added the sample within plus or minus 1,000 tons or a business day. And at the beginning of your loadouts, the first 1,000 tons, you should take a test. And this is supposed to be in your QCP. So just giving you guys a heads up. We are in our requirement zone from January 1st to April 1st. So if you guys don't have this type of wording in your in your QCP, you may want to start revising it and sending it off to your district geologist. If you have questions, talk to me. You can talk to your district geologist. Test compliance, it's also in our spec book. We just added it into our ITM 211. It's got to be 95% of all gradation test results on a critical sieve shall be statistically between 10% and 10% below and 10% above. So that's been there, it's just we added it into our ITM 211. Production. We are doing the review, the 30 most production points, so all your tests for your critical sieve to ensure that the compliance rate meets the specs. What you don't understand is this actually information was in our audit packet, just not in our ITM 211. So we took that information from the audit packet and stuck it into ITM 211. So it is across the board and that everybody's on the same page. That includes our district geologist. So if your compliance rate is less than 95% and your standard deviation, or is less than 5%, then you need to change your target mean. If your compliance rate is less than 95% and your standard deviation is above 5%, that means you got to commercialize your pile and move it off to the side to create a new target mean or try to get that target mean back into play. And if you do this, please notify your district geologist. That way they understand what's happening. They won't say too much. They'll just say, perfect, keep on going. Now they will probably check it at the audit, but hey, that's what we do. So in 12.5.3, we define loadout data, reporting, and producer responsibilities again. This is all on our website. I will show that a little bit later so you guys can look at it a little bit more. We added the requirement for producer to continually monitor and maintain statistical compliance in accordance. We clarify control chart details. I will get to that here in a second. And we define the producer responsibilities for plotting all normal frequency production and loadout testing. Explain that resamples, retests, and information tests are reported in the diary, but not plotted. So we just want that frequency test plotted on the charts. And we added control chart format deviations identified in QCP. We've always allowed it in the past, however, it was just never defined in ITM 211. With our new district geologist coming in and that, we decided that we need to have this on there so it's, perfectly across the board for everybody. So in control charts, we did say that you can maintain it electronically, which, like I said, we've done it since 2015, since I started, but just never been written. Loadout points, if it's plotted separately, you should have a 30-point chart. That's new because we are doing the PWL, and it's the most recent 30 points to calculate your PWL. And at the bottom, it says report all normal frequency production and normal frequency loadout results, even when corrective action is taken. Again, we just want the actual frequency testing on the charts. We don't need the resamples, but you should still report them in your diary and what happened. In 4.21, we added latitude and longitude. That helps us sometimes with road maps, and at the same time, township and range is not always available to people, so we added that in there for people to use. We clarified gradation limits for products intended to meet multiple sizes. I will show that here to you. And we added ledges, if applicable, to the QCP consideration for downstream controls. That means you got to put your ledges on your signs. So if you have ledges 105 to 202 on one pile, that's perfect. We added laboratory equipment and location description requirements. Again, we are adding more information into our ITM 211 that we've been doing. We just keep adding it more. We added AASHTO 57s to the coordinated phase, and that's because we've been using the 57s. We just haven't incorporated into our spec charts yet. We revised splitting procedure to AASHTO R76. We realized we had the wrong number on our AASHTO, so it was the old one, I think what, T2 or something like that, and now it's R76, so we just revised it. This table right here is our gradation, the 23-24. We have all seen 23-24, number 4, SI, BB, you name it, across the board. We are telling you guys that we want in our QCPs to show the tighter control limits. And that's because we want to make sure that you are following all gradation requirements for the product to pass. So if you look at your number 8, it's 80 to 100 for 23 or 70 to 100 for 24. That is actually going to be 80 to 100. For number 16, you have the 50 to 85 to 40 to 80. So your tighter range will be 50 to 80. Same thing with your number 50, it would be like 5 to 30 instead of the 5 to 30 or 7 to 40. I'm sorry, that should be 7 to 30. My mistake. And then so on. So you want to look at your gradations, control limits and stuff like that to make sure they're in those specs. In 17.3, we added a class of aggregate for from the INDOT QPL to the list of the weight ticket requirements. That means any type of Class A, Class AP, Class C, B, or D should be on your tickets as well. I know there's some problems with room and that type of stuff. You may just have to write it on there. This gives us more definition for our new program, AWP, for the construction crew to identify the product. So unfortunately, if you do not have your ledges, source numbers, and that type of stuff, a lot of times you might get kicked back and said, hey, this product's not on the list, so sorry, we can't use it. Well, the producer's like, hey, no, this is a certified product, it's here. Well, you just may not have all the information on that ticket. We added the loadout procedures to, during the audits to the department responsibilities. We did, I'm sorry, I skipped one. We inserted a new section that added the certified technician list to the department. Again, we didn't realize we didn't have the certified tech list on there for ITN 211 requirements, so we have it up there now. We revised and detailed the certified technician expiration date and recertification options. Again, when we were reviewing ITA 211 for changes, we realized, hey, this was never been updated to what we're doing right now, which we've been doing since probably, what, 2018-ish? So we updated district jurisdiction to clarify the suspension of shipment by district testing engineer. It may be officially disputed by the producer to the state materials engineer, which is Jim Rauman over here. Haha, I called you out. So for IT 211, we did big changes, right? IMAA has it on their website. We did a huge training on November 18, 2025. And that is actually up on their website. You can look at it. There's material there. We actually had a lot of good questions when we were doing this. So those questions are there too for you guys to review and look at and to see if you understand everything going on. Again, like I said, I'm not going through the specs real good, but you can look at this stuff and more information is on this training. Loadout data entry in the SharePoint. Yes, we're still doing this, and it is a request. We're asking you to request it through your district geologist or through me. The district geologist will inform me that, hey, these people are going to be asking for access and stuff like that, and I'll let them have it. Watch for an email from INDOT. Right here on the big screen is kind of what you'll see at the bottom for the PWL. And please respond to the sender, because if you have an issue, I would like to know we have an issue, and that way we can get it fixed for you guys. We're not trying to stick you with anything. We're just trying to say, oh crap, you have problems, come talk to me. We'll try to fix it for you guys. Some users will get an additional pop-up to the PWL. That is that sign-in, IoT sign-in. All you have to do is enter your email address. You should not have a password. It should just automatically accept it, and it will go right into the PWL worksheet. And this is what the worksheet looks like. You can see an example at the course egg 8 example down here at the bottom. Every worksheet has it. You can see what you're supposed to put into it. You're supposed to put in your 8s, 11s, or any type of QA equivalents to it. Work with your district geologist to get the material up and running or to make sure the products are correct. All right, so confirm your source material information at all times. You want to make sure your source number is on there, aggregate size, QC plan, target sampling frequency. So if you have 1,000 to 2,000 tons, that should be on there. Critical sieve, your target mean for your critical sieve, the upper control limits and lower control limits, and your decant upper spec limit. This will also help us calculate all of the PW calculations for you guys. Other items are helpful but less critical. Update at your discretion. Work with your district geologist. Again, we're here to help you guys. We're not here to ignore you. So if you have questions or need help with something, come talk to us. Okay. The next round is the sample dates. So whenever you do your frequency loadout, you're supposed to put the date in, the critical sieve percent passing, your decant, and did any of the other sieves fail? We know that the critical sieve is the most important, but we do know that other sieves do fail once in a while as well. Make comments. If there's an INDOT witness, great, put it on there. Or you can say, hey, we noticed this one was a little coarse, resample taken later on and passed. Note or sample and test your QCPN frequency again. The PWL statistics, if you're a brand new source, will start calculating at 3 tests. Now, if you're an established source and you've had a lot more than that, then it will actually start calculating the 30 most recent PWLs tests. So, every 30 tests, the most recent, will be calculated. If you notice that something's not quite right or you have a process change or anything like that, come talk to your district geologist or come talk to me and we'll try to fix everything up to that point. So with the new ITM 211 changes, obviously the audit packet has changed. So again, on the website, our audit packet is now up on the website along with a compliance rate worksheet. So you have a compliance rate worksheet that you can use, or you can use yours or whatever program you use. So section 2.5, we updated the stockpiles to ITM 211 specs. So anything like your ledges needs to be on there, lettering, any type of that type of stuff. Section 6, we updated a CAPP certification with a table and a check list. So the district geologist will look at that and they can put the names of all the certified techs on there and then say, yep, they're certified. If you see that your name's not on there, come talk to me. I might have missed you guys or accidentally erased your name by accident. Like I said, we just updated the whole list. So same thing with the qualified portion. They will have the qualified text in the table as well. They can contact their IA for the information or they'll ask you. A lot of times with our district geologists, you'll hear them say, hey, you guys are due this year. You may want to call into your IA to get it set up. We added in section 7, we added an INDOT specification section. And then that gives us a little more, we just didn't have that there. So it's 7.6 and 7.10. We updated the section to clarify redistribution terminals and the new ticket requirements. It was a little bit confusing with the new district geologist looking at this and saying, I don't understand what you mean by original source or source number. So we added that information in there. In 8.1, we inserted insert as stating charts are in accordance with ITM 211, section 13.4, or what's allowed by your software in your QCP. And we added a new section to the audit list. I mean, we had compliance rate in there, but we added the PWS section to it as well. You can look that on a little bit more. The geologist will look at your most 30 recent points to make sure that's calculating right and that your information's correct on their worksheet versus what you have in your charts and stuff like that. In section 9.8 through 9.9, like again, we put the compliance rate and PWLs on our diary requirements because you're supposed to be checking it weekly now, right? Not daily, just weekly. The wording right here in the yellow, we've added to several sections of our thing for the loadout frequency. Again, it'll be in your QCP, but it has to be in accordance with ITM 211 as well. For section 10, the bulk specific gravity is supposed to be 0.030. We didn't realize it, and the audit checklist never been updated to that, so we put it up there. We added techniques updated to include the strike-off procedure. So you guys know that if you do a strike-off procedure on your product, it's supposed to be in your QCP, right? So that's what we're looking for, as well as make sure that you guys are doing that when we are out there. We also added the flakiness testing to the testing results. So if you have an SC11 and your district geologist picked that for testing, they'll do the testing as well, that flakiness testing. This section right here for the laboratory, we updated quite a bit. Again, we are adding the go, no-go gauges procedures. Again, we've had these for a while, but now it's inside the audit packet for us to check to make sure you guys are doing it correctly. We also added some additional information if you're doing your verifications on your calipers, thermometers, timers, and that type of stuff. The geologist will record that for you guys. And then at the bottom, it says, is the lab current? So if there's a lab that's in a different district, the other district geologist will call up that district and make sure that that lab is current, and that information will be added into it as well. This information is good for you guys as well. And then for the closeout, we added a little section that says if the audit is not completed within the original time frame provided by the district geologist, then a reminder email will be sent out to the producer, informing the producer they are non-compliant. The producer can request a one-time extension of 14 business days. So Monday through Friday counted into 14 days. For district geologists, we have Aaron Aldred as the Greenfield district geologist, and then we have Amanda Duchek for Crawfordsville. They're here today. And if you guys want to know, we have the other district geologist up in LaPorte is Rachel DePaul. Fort Wayne geologist is Kenneth Ray. Vincent's got a new district geologist this past year, and his name is Raven Gaines. And Seymour district is Chris Bell. So talking about the new audits and stuff like that, we're going in a little bit of the trends. We compiled corrective actions from the most 2025 district audits. Total corrective actions that happened across the board was 221. No corrective actions was 64 sources. And that does not include our observations in this. So in diaries, we had 53 corrective actions. That means that either A, you did not have the right information in your diaries, or it did not match to a certain product, or plant changes were not shown, or somebody left the company and that was not taken. Charts are not done correctly. 44 corrective actions. This is a combined section as well for your audit packet, and that means that not maintained 30 points, the spec limits were not correct, target mean was not correct, or the 5-point moving average was not correct. Just small stuff that we see on the charts. Gradation, deleterious crush is not within spec limits. That was 24 corrective actions. Equipment not verified was 22 corrective actions. This year alone, we had seen the most of for the missing calibrations for weights. I know that in the ASHTO it says every 2 years that the weights are supposed to be certified or verified. However, for INDOT, we have it down to a year. So every time you do your scales, make sure you have that certification letter in, and that the weights are calibrated every year, not 2 years. Missing production loadout frequencies, production and loadout frequencies was 21. That's not very good either. It means that something happened. QCP was 19 corrective action. That means that your QCP was not correct, or it did not match what was said in your charts or stuff like that. Current test methods was 19 corrective actions as well. I'll get to that part real fast. Compliance rate is out of compliance was 5 corrective actions. That means we're starting to work on it, but I'm just bringing it to the board because this year we're doing PWL rates now, so get ready. Tickets missing information such as ledges and source numbers or queue numbers. Queue numbers will disappear slowly in the long distance when site manager disappears completely, but that was only 3 corrective actions. However, like I said, with all the new ticket requirements, you may want to keep an eye on your tickets to make sure that the construction does not kick back your product. So corrective trends throughout the years, signage on your piles. Again, I'm adding this stuff in more this year because we did change a lot. So make sure your ledges are on there, APs on there, or however you guys identify, make sure that's correct. Reference documents, that's been a big one, obviously. Every single year, it's always been about in the 20s. QCP not having the correct information. D-list is not matching your QCP, which now the D-list is on the website. Tickets missing information. Test data not matching diary or charts. 5-point moving average trend is not noted in diary, so 7 up, 7 down, right? Or the math is wrong, so you may want to keep an eye on how it's calculating on your charts. Missing dilatory test frequencies. A lot of times people don't realize that they still have to do deleterious no matter what, once per week, of 100 tons or more. Key personnel changes not being recorded. Compliance rate below 95%. Verifications again, and gradations. So to solve these issues, review your previous audit packet. Make sure that if you have a corrective action in there, make sure you're not repeating it again. Sometimes we do have producers that have problems and keeps repeating the same corrective action over and over again. Audit yourself. Hey, the list is now up on the website, right? You can't sit there and tell me you don't know how to do it. You can audit yourselves to make sure everything's correct. It opens your eyes as well to make sure everything looks good. Make sure you have your correct paperwork for verifications. Again, the most missed is the weights, so always make sure you have that down. Make sure it's always on the most updated information too from the ITMs. Check your yard to make sure signs are there or have correct information on it. Check your charts constantly to make sure they're correct. You know, is the 5-point moving average having issues? Is it 7 up, 7 down? Hey, is the upper or lower control limits correct? Target mean. Review your daily diaries. Make sure all the information's in there. Again, this year we are adding a whole bunch of new stuff. Review your QCP. CAPP text, you can always ask for that QCP to make sure what you're doing is what is said in the QCP. How often are you checking your compliance rate? Now that it's there, the compliance rate and PWR are checked weekly, right? Make sure you're still certified. You're doing that right now. If you're here for aggregates, you're getting certified. Or if someone missed it, make sure they get on the video. Stay qualified. Make sure you don't fall out of qualification. We've had this issue in the past here recently. Make sure that you are in that qualification portion. So if you don't know, contact your district geologist or contact your IA representative. This is the website. Again, we added the audit checklist and compliance rate worksheet. You can find your D-list, directives, ITMs, you name it. It's all on this website. Again, what you see highlighted, the qualified product list, That's your APAS certified producers and your D-list. I'm going to go a little bit faster. ITM methods, directives, and the aggregate chart. And just FYI, everything has been updated. There is a brand new aggregate chart up on the website, so make sure you have it. The next one is your management representative letter. That is brand new. It's updated, so the 2026 one is there. That tells you exactly what the what ASHOs have been updated or ITMs have been updated, directives and stuff like that. So use that to make sure you're correct on everything. The certified tech list is up there, right under there. Your GSB list, that is important for asphalt people, but at the same time, they may question it and ask you guys what's going on with your product, and then come talk to me about it. The brand new technician manual is up there. Yes, brand new. Katie did a really great job. It looks beautiful. I love it. And it's all updated, and it's on our website. So you have a brand new tech manual that adds all the new loadout procedures and stuff like that. ASHOs and ASTMs, you need to go to the website and get them updated, but make sure it's what's in your QCP only. You don't have to buy all of them. If you think it's easier that way, that's fine. And that's it. Hope you guys have a great day.